Some cards. Nice.
Oh, hi. What
Hey,
are you doing?
Jonathan. I'm good. How about you?
Doing great.
I think you're gonna play some sort of game here. First question is, Jonathan, what's traditional dish did you hate growing up but you love now?
There weren't too many traditional dishes that I didn't like growing up. I think I ate everything, but I didn't have an appreciation for menudo growing up until I was older. I had a couple of uncles who ran some restaurants that ended up making iconic recipe that we like. And every time we go to a family function, that's the one we go to.
Nice.
All right. Question number one for you is, what are you most proud of about your heritage?
So for those who doesn't know, I'm from Brazil. And honestly, I feel like our people, like the optimist of them, like we deal with a lot of, like we face a lot of problems there, as you guys will probably are aware, but like if this Brazil soccer player teams playing on the screen, we just all gonna wear the Brazilian shirts and cheer for the game and put a smile on the face and grill some barbecue, and yeah, we're gonna, at least during that time, we're gonna forget our problems.
My younger son is a very big soccer fan, so he's come to appreciate that. He's got multiple jerseys. He has a Brazil jersey, so he's a big fan.
Nice. So next question for you, Jonathan. When did you know you want to get into tech?
I've always loved technology. Even I've always been an early adapter of technology growing up. It just was one of those things where I've been around a little bit longer than some. So I've seen the evolution of technology, the iPhone. And for me, it was always just fascinating what it did and how it functioned. And I think getting behind the scenes of how things are made and the amount of people who are super smart and super driven and super motivated to innovate and to design just really drove me.
And you play an important role here. Like our technology is nothing without the people that build all these amazing features in our product and our solution.
So my next question for you is, what was the biggest challenge in your journey to reach the position you have today in technology?
So first, I need to say the language barrier. And I know that's a problem for many of my friends. We have like a big community of Brazilians here in Seattle that get together, and we can't get away from the imposter syndrome. That we are not taken serious because we have a strong accent, because our vocabulary is not as polished. But I don't think it's just that. I think the language is the obvious first challenge that we need to overcome. But also like value yourself, be proud what you accomplish, take ownership of the things that you accomplish in your journey. It's okay if you don't have that polished English. The important is the content, your expertise, what you've done in your past.
I also think too, some of the language, the dual language can be a help. Being bilingual and having diversity within our workplace helps us tremendously, right? Because I think we don't have to think the same. And I think that our customers really appreciate that piece of it.
So I have another question for you. Why do you think there is not a big Latinx population in tech?
I think, I've been doing a little bit of work with this, and I think some of the challenges with any minorities or underrepresented minority groups, with Latinx especially, is just access to information about tech early in their education, early in career, and what kind of exposure they have to technology. From an educational perspective, a role model perspective, employment perspective, and really trying to understand what opportunities are available. I think there's a big education gap. I think there's a big educational component that I think tech companies need to continue to do. I think a lot of them have done a great job starting to educate at a much younger age. And, one of the things that we're looking at is how do we gain access and interest in grade school and middle schools, high schools, universities, to where, it is seen as a career of choice versus one I may or may not be able to aspire to.
Yeah, that's inspiring. Like, it doesn't mean that you didn't grow having access to those type of technology, that you don't have a chance to in this industry.
On to our next question. What bias did you need to overcome to be where you are now?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I'm just starting my journey here in US in the tech industry. But when I moved here and I start to apply to jobs, you are so pleased to get a job here in US. You don't negotiate compensation. You feel like you're like, oh my God, I have a job. I'm so lucky. I don't ask for anything more. And that's so wrong. Like we need to value ourselves. We should be compared as equal to any other employee, and don't feel like, oh, I'm so lucky of having this job. I don't have the right to ask for anything else. You do.
Right. No, I think that's great. It's great advice. I think just overcoming them and not letting bias get in your way is a strong message.
So we're getting towards the end. I have one last question for you, Jonathan. What would you tell someone aspiring to be in your position?
I think in my position, think twice about it. No, just kidding. It's just, I think, for me, it was really, I think, learn as much as you can about all the different roles that happen in the people and people operations and within companies. And for me, I think what's made me a stronger, people leader is just understanding the business, but really trying to understand how they all fit together. And then really understanding the people. I think you said earlier in our conversation that, people really are the lifeblood of tech in terms of who's designing, and really understanding, how what we do impacts people. And I think the other piece is wrapping kind of this conversation into it. How do we make, that environment inclusive, and how do we really make a culture that really invites everyone to be their authentic self on top of all of the other things that we do. And, I'm really proud to be part of Qumulo because I do believe that we have that within our organization. We get to show up as who we are.
Yeah. Like I just wanted our Latinx community to grow here. I think we have a really nice environment for this community.
I think it's a great point. I think the piece that resonates with me is just be able to show up as who you are and be accepted for that and not blend in. I think it's really important to find a place that you can do that. I think, Qumulo offers that for us. And I think it's one of the places that I think genuinely helps get us motivated every day that we come into work. And but I think it's super important for people to do that. So I appreciate you sharing thoughts today.
Thank you. Thank you too. I loved our chat.
It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.